Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, everyone. Hope you're having a nice day. So today we're going to start the intro, which are a few pages before we start the units, the 6 units that we have in the book. The benefit from those pages are only to refresh your mind about the things that you should consider before studying this book. Okay, so let's start. Now, here we have a few we have some of the titles that we're going to use, and we're going to match those titles or those topics with the text. Okay, with text. Now let's see. Here we have space exploration, accidents, careers, keeping fit, the future, learning, and advertising. Now let's see.
Intro Unit, pages 2 and 3. 1. Listen and discuss.
A space probe's lander touched down on Comet 67P, 510 million kilometers from Earth, an unprecedented achievement in space exploration.
Now, the thing is that whenever you're going to have a text, okay, whether it's short like this one or a long one, you don't need to understand every word. You don't need that. You just need to gather the whole idea, the main idea of the text, so you can write or you can choose the best topic. Okay, because we choose a topic that talks about the main thing, not the details. So what do you think about this one? It's going to be, yes, space exploration. Move on to the next one.
Flying cars used to be a feature of science fiction and comic strips, but recent developments indicate that they are going to become a reality very soon. One of the most successful hybrid flying cars is due to go into production this year.
So what do you think about this one? It talks about, mainly about flying cars. But when we see here, do we have something about flying cars? No, for me, it's okay if you write flying cars, but also, do we have now flying cars? No. So we will consider that as what? The future. Move on to the next one.
Lifelong learning is the self-motivated pursuit of knowledge for personal or professional reasons throughout life in a range of situations. It is not confined to the classroom nor restricted by age. Open online sources have made this type of learning accessible to a greater number of people. Accidents at home.
Okay, so here we have, it talks about lifelong learning, which means that you commit your life as in learning, like you learn all the time, whether your age is 5, whether your age is 30, is 50, 60, you are learning. So what do you think the best title? You can write lifelong learning. It's an easy way to choose the first word that comes in the text as the topic of the text. But also here we can choose. What do you think? You can choose what? Learning, whether it's lifelong learning or learning. Now move on to the next one.
Home are more common than anywhere, accessible to a greater number of people. Accidents at home are more common than anywhere else. Falling and tripping accidents cause injuries to thousands of people.
Okay, short text that talks about, again, accidents. Yes. So we're going to choose the title of the topic, accidents. Very easy, right? Just to refresh your mind.
Teenagers who enjoy exercise and form healthy eating habits stay fit throughout their lives. Although restricted to sound, radio advertising is an
So, also a short text that talks about teenagers who enjoy exercise and form healthy eating habits stay fit throughout their lives. Now here he doesn't talk about teenagers, he talks about those teenagers who are what? Keeping fit. So we're going to choose keeping fit. Move on to the next
restricted
one.
to sound, radio form healthy eating habits, stay fit throughout their lives. Although restricted to sound, radio advertising is an expanding medium that is available on air and online. Radio broadcasts can reach a greater number of people in remote areas and do not require advanced technology.
So what do you think about this one? It talks about radio, but not only radio in general, it talks about advertising. Of course, you know the meaning of advertising. So we're going to choose advertising. Move on to the next one.
Should people follow their passion and change careers later in life if they feel unhappy and burnt out? Success stories of entrepreneurs who changed careers over the age of 50 prove that it's never too late to follow a new path.
And the last one, it talks about people who want to change their careers, their jobs, later in their life. So we're going to choose careers. Okay, very easy, just to refresh your mind. Now let's move on to the next one. Now in this one, you're going first to listen to a conversation, and then we're going to talk about expressing opinion, preference, agreeing or disagreeing. Now listen please.
Page 4. 3. Conversation. Listen and practice reading the conversation in pairs.
Good morning, Ashraf.
Oh, hello, Ted. What a surprise. Are you flying with us to Dubai?
In fact, my brother and I are flying to Denver to visit our uncle.
You're kidding. My father is attending a conference in Denver. What's it like in Denver?
It's beautiful, if you don't mind cold winters. Anyway, how are you? How is your family?
Very well, thanks. How about you?
Great. Oh, sorry, you haven't met my brother, Jack.
Hello, Jack. Pleased to meet you.
Hello, Ashraf. I'm really glad to meet you. Ted talks about you all the time.
Saudia Flight 380 is now boarding at Gate 9.
That's our flight. Come on, Jack, we need to go. Bye, Ashraf. Have a safe flight and a great time in Dubai.
Thanks, Ted. Have a pleasant flight. Bye, Jack. Great to meet you. Please give my regards to your father.
Okay, now here we have three people. They have a conversation in where? In the airport. Okay, now here we have something that I know that you're very familiar with. The phrases that you have to use when greetings, introductions, farewells. Farewells means what? Saying goodbye to someone. Those are kind of phrases you will have to use. Good morning, hello, hi, how are you? And then how do you reply to them? Give my regards to your parents, to your family. Say hello to. We say the same thing in Arabic. What a surprise. I didn't expect to run into you here. I don't believe it. Is this for real? So those phrases you can use when you want to greet someone or when you see them in the first time after a long or after a while, sorry. Okay. Okay, it was a very easy conversation. Now the last thing that we're going to have, which is, oh sorry, before that, there is something I needed to know. Expressing opinions, preferring, agreeing and disagreeing. Now even in Arabic, when we want to express our opinion, we don't say it directly, or when we disagree, we don't say that I disagree with you. We have some phrases that will make it kind and nice to say to other people. So you can start by saying, what do you think of, and then you can say the idea that you want other people to give their opinion about. I think it's interesting, an amazing achievement. Okay, what is your opinion about? I think it's exciting. Do you find, for example, studying abroad interesting? Don't you think it's very exhausting to study like this, online studying? No, not really. Okay, so those are the phrases that you should use. Now, when you disagree, like here, you will say no, not really, not no only. Those kind of phrases will make it kind of polite to disagree. Okay, I need you to see this video.
But they frequently have
Sorry.
I agree.
but they frequently have
Agree.
opinions.
I'm afraid I don't agree.
Here are some English phrases for agreeing and disagreeing in meetings. Agreeing is easy.
Do you agree?
Yes, I agree.
It's often better to be more specific.
I agree with you. I agree with Michelle. I agree with the second part of your proposal.
You can also indicate how much you agree.
I partly agree. I mostly agree. I completely agree.
You need to be careful how you disagree.
No, you're wrong.
If you are too direct, it can be bad for relationships in the meeting. It's better to be less direct when you disagree.
Do you agree?
I'm afraid I don't agree.
Let's look more closely at that phrase. This tells the listener to expect a negative statement. This allows you to put more emphasis on the negative. Listen again.
I'm afraid I don't agree.
It's clear you are disagreeing. You can also say,
I'm afraid I don't agree with Ryan.
I'm afraid I don't agree with your budget proposal.
I'm afraid I completely disagree.
Okay, now let's move on. Now I'm going to give you homework about some of the ideas, and I'm going to ask you about each one of them, whether you agree or disagree, and I need you to use those phrases. Okay, the last thing that we have here is the pronunciation. How do you pronounce some of the words? Now listen please. You're going to listen and note the rising of the sound, or the rising of his sound, or falling intonation.
Page 4. 4. Pronunciation. A. Listen. Note the rising or falling intonation.
Are you flying to Dubai?
Ted talks about you all the time.
B. Listen. Note the rising and falling intonation in expressions of surprise.
Good morning, Ashraf.
Can you notice that? Now when here he said, are you flying to Dubai? So he ends his question by what? Rising or falling? Yes, rising. Ted talks about you all the time. And then you what? Have falling intonation. Good morning, Ashraf. So you can have, here we have one thing. We have whether it's rising or falling. But here, because it's expression of surprise, good morning. So this is a rising, and then his name, because he knows him from before, he's going to what, to make his intonation what, falling. Okay, so this is all for today. Hope you're having a nice day.